Just go visit Courtney Geels on Instagram and go look at her hot husband. Because dang boy. John, I got nothing. It's early. Courtney Geels, fanboy Clark. How are you this morning?
I'm good, buddy. How are you?
Tired. Tired.
Yeah?
Yeah. Tired, man. Kids, weather. I came home last night. It's 90 degrees in Nashville, right?
Yep.
And I didn't have my air on. And I got home at like 7:30 and it was 85 degrees in my house.
Jeez.
I like it hot, but that's just a little too hot to go to sleep. So I'm tired, but I'm good. I'm good. I slept great last night. Slept like a baby.
Dude, I don't ever turn my air off. Like ever. There's always some sort of air circulating, whether it's warm or cold, warm in the winter, cold in the summertime. I never don't have central heat and air running in my house.
Well, we're not all billionaires. Okay. Some of us don't have Dogecoin, so
don't depress me. I don't have any of it anymore either.
But anyways, at the same time, this is the first time we've ever done this. This is kind of big. Like we're running simultaneous shows. How are we talking at two places at once? It's an optical illusion. All right. But right now you can go over to wherever you listen to us. You'll see that we posted our interview with Courtney Geels, which I realized we said her name wrong in our other track. I think you did too. I don't think you said her name because you're just like, Eric, you go after her. I'm just going to sit here and eat popcorn. So we did a 50-minute interview with the congressional hopeful in the 4th District of North Carolina. And I hope everybody goes and checks it out because it was great. I had some good one-liners. John had some hard-hitting questions. But what were your thoughts on the interview?
Have to say, and I imagine she would probably say the same thing. I was not expecting what I got from the interview. Some of her opinions and views were very unique considering the impressions that I got initially from her. I think you and I both talked. She's been endorsed by Mike Lindell. There are, clearly she's gotten support from Donald Trump. And she even mentioned in the interview, like, I voted for Trump and I'd probably vote for him again. But she also is very, very savvy when it comes to some of the things that she thinks, how she's running her campaign, because she also mentioned, that being supported by Trump doesn't necessarily help her in her district. You mentioned in the interview, and I'll say it here, she was just a lot cooler than what I thought she was going to be. I think she had some very nuanced opinions. And it was, I guess, kind of a lesson for me too, because I assumed a whole lot about her, and she probably did assume a whole lot about us too. And I actually had a pretty enjoyable time, man. It was a good time. I mean, it was one of those situations where I didn't feel like we were forcing the conversation for 50 minutes. It just kind of flowed really well, and I enjoyed listening to her, make her points.
Well, if you don't know, we'll link to in the description. We'll link to the episode. We claim we were ghosted. She said there was a communication error, but we got stood up. So then we did what any rational, mature host do of a show is we went and blasted her as hard as we possibly could. And I actually started off the episode by saying, look, I called you a coward, but you actually showed up. So I commend you for showing up. And at the beginning of the interview, I thought it was I think everybody was kind of like, how's this going to go? And like I tweeted last night, I said, it was cool to hang with her. She's not the Karen that I thought she was. And she actually retweeted that. So there was that. But no, she was a really cool hang. I don't agree with her on everything. It's funny that I thought she was a lot more radical on the right.
Sure.
That she actually is, than she actually is. And I think that's because she's lumped in with the Mike Lindells and the Donald Trumps and all of that. And I was pleasantly surprised. I think for the congressional district of North Carolina, she's probably your best option. Like I said, I don't agree with her on everything, but I think she's probably your best option. Really cool person, really cool hang, and I hope she wins the primary because she said that she'd come back on the show.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and I mean, I just she mentioned too, one of the things that I liked in the interview is that she mentioned that she just wanted to work with new people, in politics. And I could not agree more. Just the majority of our politicians these days have one foot in the grave. From the president to multiple senatorial candidates or multiple senatorial politicians on both sides of the fence. You got Mitch McDonnell, who looks like the crypt keeper, and then
Okay, well,
Nancy Pelosi.
hey, John,
Yeah,
his name is Mitch McConnell.
McConnell. Jeez, it's too early, man. You got Mitch McConnell.
Old McDonald had a farm.
You got that guy who looks like the crypt keeper, and then you got Nancy Pelosi, who looks surprised no matter where she is.
She is the crypt keeper, all right? Like Nancy Pelosi is the crypt keeper.
70, 80, 90 years old, which we do have some almost 90-year-old folks in Congress and in the Senate right now. Those folks aren't connected to the average American. They've all got stockpiles of money. They don't understand the plight of the middle class, the shrinking middle class at this point. And like I said, I think she's got some really solid viewpoints. She even mentioned, which I would imagine is probably a controversial viewpoint amongst some of her supporters, that Joe Biden is our president. He was certified by Congress, so he's our president. We may not like it, but he is. And I thought that was kind of admirable for her to say.
Well, she made a hard pitch for that 2000 Mules Dinesh D'Souza movie.
Yep.
That guy's a whack job, so it's like there's the parts where I agree with her, and then she goes down like the 2000 Mules Dinesh D'Souza, and it's like, all right, like that's what I'm talking about. Like I don't agree with her on everything, but I don't have to agree with her on everything. I just thought that she's going to have a tough hill to climb after the primary because it is a notoriously blue district. I'm excited to see what happens. I do not think, regardless of what happens in the primary and in the election in November, that this is the last that we are going to hear of Courtney Geels. Like as John had to tell me, it's like eels and then add a G at the front. Yeah. But no, cool hang. And Courtney, you promised us that you would come back once you win the primary, and we're going to hold you to that.
Yeah.
Anything
absolutely.
you want to say in closing?
No, not really. Like I said, enjoy the conversation. Nothing that hasn't already been said. Again, I think that our listeners will find her to be a lot more nuanced than any of us expected her to be. And I don't know that we could give someone a higher compliment than that, because it feels like that to sound super cliche, common sense is not so common anymore. And it seems like that she's got a little bit of it. There's enough of the common sense there for her to understand that people from all sides of the fence can have a perspective that is valid and worth considering. And so I appreciated that about her.
And she's not a coward.
Nope.
She's not a hack. She's not a Karen. What else did I say about her?
She said her husband was hot.
Her husband is hot. Just go visit Courtney Geels on Instagram and go look at her hot husband, because dang boy.